All right, so this is the second week. So we'll be looking at logarithms of numbers that are less than 1. Firstly, we'll be starting with different operations that involve logarithm of numbers that are less than 1. Basically, we talk about numbers that has bar number. So let's look at the addition and subtraction. After that, then we'll look at the multiplication and division. So let's look at this. This means bar 2.6 plus bar 3.1. How can we do that? What bar 2.6 means is bar 2 plus 0.6. That's what it means. And also what bar 3.1 means is bar 3 plus 0.1. Bar 2 is the same thing as saying minus 2. Bar 3 is the same thing as saying minus 3. Now, let's now arrange it one after the other. Now, bar 2.6 plus bar 3.1. So we had 6 plus 1, 7. Point minus 2 plus minus 3. We did the same thing as saying minus 2 minus 3, and that will be minus 5. That will be bar 5. So that is the answer to this first question. The second question, bar 3.4, bar 3.4 plus bar 3.8. So we want to add. So 4 plus 8 will give us 12. Then you are carrying 1 over. The 1 minus 3 will give us minus 2. Minus 2 minus 3 give us minus 5. So the answer to this question now is bar 5.2. The third question, bar 5.7 minus, this is minus this time around, bar 2.3. So we subtract. 7 minus 3 will give us 4. Minus 5 minus minus 2. Minus 5 minus minus 2. The minus will become plus. So I'm going to have minus 5 plus 2. That will be minus 3. That will be bar 3. So the answer to this question is bar 3.4. So this is the addition and subtraction. Now, let's go move on to the multiplication. Now, this is multiplication and division. Now, let's look at the first question. Bar 2.7 times 4. It means 4 is multiplying bar 2 and at the same time multiplying 0.7. So this, we need to split it into 2 for us to have an efficient answer. If you don't split it into 2, you are not going to have a correct answer if you are not careful enough. All right, so we split it, bar 2 separate, then 0.7 separate. So we do that. 4 times bar 2 give us bar 8 plus 4 times 0.7 will give us 2.8. Now, you now combine these two answers together. This integer of 2 will be added to this minus 8. So you are going to have minus 8 plus 2. That will give us minus 6, then 0.8. So this is the answer to this question. You can see that we need to be very careful when you are doing this. You split it first. After splitting, then you multiply by 4, one after the other. Then you now later combine as 1. The same thing division. Now let's look at division. You split it, 3 dividing by 4 plus 0.7. Look at this. That is something like this. We can use this symbol or we use this symbol. Divided by 3. So let's go with this. This shows that Bar 4 will be divided by 3, and 0.7 will also be divided by 3. Please take note here. In division, the bar must be a factor of the divisor before you can divide it. I mean, this bar must be a factor of this divisor. For example, 4 is not a factor of 3. Therefore, we cannot divide. What are we now going to do? What you are going to do now is to move this bar. You move it to the next factor of 3. This is 4. The next factor of 3 is going to be 6. So you change, you move this bar 4 to bar 6. You know you've subtracted 2. That's why you have minus 6. The 2 you subtract, you add another 2 to remove the effect. I repeat, the 2 you remove from 4 to give you minus 6, the same 2 will be added to the decimal part to remove the effect of that minus 2 before you can now divide it by what? By 3. For example, again, let's assume this is bar 5. If it is bar 5, you take it to bar 6, which is you are subtracting 1, then you add 1 to it to make it 1.7, like that, in that order. But if it is divisible, if this bar is a factor of 3, you don't need to do that. Just divide straightforward and you get your answer. So now let's divide. 6 divided by 3 will give you by 2, plus 2.7 divided by 3 will give us 0.9. Then you can then combine the answer together as bar 2.9. Therefore, the answer to this question now is bar 2.9. Bar 2.9 is the final answer. Let's look at another example on division. Look at this. We want to divide bar 7.2 divided by 4. That is bar 7 plus 0.2 divided by 4. So let's look at this again. 7 is not a factor of 4. So you move 7 to the next factor of 4. The next factor of 4 will be what? 8. So move 7 to 8. Become by what? 8. What do you do to 7 to become 8? You subtracted 1. So you add that 1 to this. 1.2. Then you divide it by what? By 4. Finally now, by 8 divided by 4 will give you by 2, plus 1.2 divided by 4 will give us 0.3. Combining the two answers together, you are going to have bar 2.3 as the final answer. So this is how to deal with bar in terms of division, in terms of multiplication, in terms of addition, and in terms of subtraction. So this will be the end of our lesson 1 of week 2. So in the next class, we start with lesson 2. Meet you in the next class. Thank you.